Hi everyone! Okay, day 20. So today I want to talk about something that's very close to my heart, and that is actually the environment and just humanitarian problems that are going on at the moment. Um, Last night I read an article about these polar bears starting to migrate to this sort of like smaller town in Russia, and it saddened me. It really made me really sad because, you know, it is a direct relationship of what's happening in the environment at the moment, and global warming. And the fact is these polar bears are not, like, because of the lack of ice that's happening at the moment, there is also a lack of land for them to hunt, and that's why they're now coming into Russia and going into these towns to actually find food. I mean, what are we doing as humanity to, to our environment, to our planet? So I guess today, like, my post is all about, you know, what I guess it's really about what I want to do in education. I mean, it's molding academics with big topics like the environment, because I feel like it's something that we need. I mean, we are one of the first generations to know, to be more conscious, I guess, of what's happening to our environment and how we're damaging the environment. But let's not be the last generation, to be able to do something about this planet. We really need to be reversing it. And what we need to be doing is teaching our kids about these problems, teaching our kids about what is happening and what the direct relationship, what the causes are of, like, what's happening, what's happening at the moment. We're not just, it's not just as simple as just consuming a bottle of water, a plastic bottle of water, and having no consequences. It's not just about eating chicken and thinking that, that it's okay. What is actually happening when we're consuming this bottle of water, or when we're consuming this chicken? I mean, it goes further than that. It's not just one chicken on a plate. That one chicken on the plate is actually, it actually has so many consequences. The consumption of chicken means that the butchers have a demand for chicken, and then that means that they're asking farmers to farm more chickens. And so what does that mean? That means that it could be meaning that deforestation happens because farmers need more land to farm these chickens. And then what does deforestation mean for animals? It could, in the long run, mean extinction, that their habitat is gone. I mean, we know that these things are happening right now. And so, I think it's so important to teach our kids that what's happening right now has a direct relationship. I mean, like, what they're consuming right now has a direct relationship to what's happening on the planet, and how can we, use what we know to reverse what we've done. I think, I mean, like, I wish that, I guess, what is so important is to educate them about, recycling, sustainability, what they can do instead. I mean, understanding that what's on their plate isn't just as easy as just what's on their plate, or like drinking that bottle of water from a plastic bottle. It is not just as easy as just putting it in the bin, because there is a cause and effects that happens because of that. And I mean, at school, I always teach, I try anyway, to teach about, recycling and how to recycle. I mean, that's the first thing that you do teach your children. And I guess that's what I really loved about Australia. I mean, one of the schools that I interviewed for, one of the questions was, how, you know, we're big on sustainability. How do you teach sustainability in your classroom? And I think that's such an amazing question to ask. And I think that's what schools need to be asking their teachers when they're interviewing. You know, how are we as teachers teaching, you know, the future to actually change this? So anyway, what have I done in the classroom? You know, there's examples of, you know, I will look at some YouTube videos with the children, you know, especially on like sea animals and what's happening in their bodies. They're taking in all this plastic that we're actually, you know, not disposing of properly, and because plastic doesn't decompose for such a long time. You know, so my children in the class that are 5 to 8 year olds, they know that, you know, they know that plastic is not a good material, and because it doesn't decompose, and so we as a classroom have always you know, looked for different solutions, looked for what we can do instead of using plastic. So, you know, a lot of the children, they came up with, you know, instead of using, you know, buying a plastic water bottle, why don't we buy one bottle and just keep using it? That, you know, that's an example of them recycling. What else? I mean, you know, they've seen some of their parents use you know, like those bags when they go to shopping, when they shop for groceries. So they say, you know, reuse bags, which is great. What else have we done? I mean, we've looked at deforestation at school, and the impacts of, I mean, why deforestation is happening, and the impacts of that on different animals. You know, I mean, talk to your children about it. I guess, like, and, you know, the scary thing is some of us adults, you know, we don't actually recycle ourselves. We're not conscious of what we're doing. And I think for the future to, you know, to continue, like, I guess what I'm saying is that if we continue to be unconscious of our consumption, you know, what type of future are we leaving to our kids? You know, what sort of future are they going to be living in? And how can they help? And, you know, and I think it starts with us. It starts with role modeling to them what we can do. I mean, I remember a child in my classroom, we talked about recycling, and we talked about what we can do to recycle. And I have different little bins in my classroom for different sorts of recycling, you know, and I have a bin for wastes, and I have a bin for paper, and I have a bin for, you know, plastic and things like that. And so they know where to put these things. And I remember one of my, you know, parents coming in, and, you know, she put one of the, you know, recycling paper in the waste bin, and one of my kids actually told her, no, that's not where you put it, we need to be recycling, and this is why. And I guess, like, you know, for us adults, we need to be aware of what we're doing so that we can role model it to our children. We need to be, you know, talking to them about these consequences, these repercussions of being unconscious with the way that we consume things. I mean, I understand that, you know, we can always say, oh, it's just like, you know, it's just me, you know, I've forgotten my water bottle, so oh well, like, I'm just going to buy a plastic, you know, bottle for, you know, to drink. But it's not just you, you know, it's everybody, and everybody always thinks that. They go, oh, you know, like, other people can be vegetarians, I don't have to, I'm just one in 7 billion people. But that's probably what everybody else is thinking, and that's why, you know, we haven't resolved this problem, and it's getting worse. So I guess, like, for me, it's, you know, this environmental thing is so important, and we need to make this a conscious effort, you know, to parent in a green way, you know, to parent in a way, and to educate, not just to parent, but to educate our students, our kids about you know, the future that we're going to have if we keep on, you know, consuming the way that we do. Yeah, so what have I done? Some examples of how I have educated my kids on the environment. So for example, I would do a topic on under the sea, and I would let them know, you know, about you know, we'll watch a YouTube video about a turtle and how he's got plastic stuck up his nose and things like that. So then, like, they recognize that, you know, there's a lot of plastic in the ocean. What can we do? So, you know, another thing that, you know, we'll do is we'll find solutions to those problems. I actually got them in D&T to create their own machines, or to actually clean up the ocean, and gosh, they were amazing. Some of these kids, I mean, like, most children have the most amazing imagination, and so, you know, talk to them about how they could actually, you know, solve some of these world problems, because I reckon they could come up with a million ways of doing that. What else? You know, that the one of my classes where I did a 10-week module on Nepal, you know, children were able to come up with ways of helping help to solve poverty in Nepal, and you know, not only did they come up with these ways, they actually actively helped to resolve some of these, you know, issues. And yes, it's not going to be solved overnight, but if we can inspire our children to understand that these things are happening out there, you know, they will have the compassion and the empathy to find solutions. All right, well, anyway, that is me today. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is, it's a rant. I don't know what it is, but hope you got something out of it. All right, bye.